Hey up me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. I'm popping on because, well, I'll be popping on a few times during the week because if you saw my live yesterday, which was the birthday haul and catch up that went out on Sunday evening, you'll see that I opened a few decks, and whilst I showed a few cards from them, I said I'd come back and do full walkthroughs. And the first one that I'm going to show, and I'm going to show it first because I do want to do some edging on this deck, and I want to do that this evening whilst I'm just chilling out. This was a birthday gift from my lovely tarot daughter, Elle, and they sent me this deck, and there was quite a funny note attached to it. It said something along the lines of a weird and wonderful deck for a weird and wonderful bloke. Which is just like them. That's Elle all over. But it made me smile, and I was very touched to receive this deck. And I had never heard of this deck before, and it is called Magicae Daemonibus Tarot. And Artis Magicae is the name of the creator, so that's probably why it's called Magicae Daemonibus Tarot. And it's demon spelt with the A, which is the plural of demons, of demon. So yeah, Magicae Daemonibus Tarot. Hadn't heard anything about it. I think Jenna Ball has got it and probably done a walkthrough. It seems to stick in my mind. And Jenna was in the chat last night and said she had it. But whenever that was, I don't know. I think this has been out for probably about 18 months, and it was a Kickstarter campaign. It's now available on Etsy, so I will put a link below to the Etsy shop. It just comes in a simple tuck box. But what I noticed just as, and I think it's the lighting, just as I was about to go live, because I said yesterday about how this is the back design on the cards, how I loved the kind of blood red and darker red, and I thought it was a plain back. But actually, if I bring it up to the camera more, it's a triple moon. Do you see the moon here and the moon here and the circle? And then there's this kind of face in there. It's very, I mean, I didn't even spot it yesterday, just looking at it, you know, briefly, but in this light it shows up quite well, and I love it. I really love this as a back. Yesterday I did break the cellophane. The only downside to this is there is no guidebook or anything to go with it, and I really wish there was, because I want to, you know, study this deck. It is beautiful. Again, you can see the imprint there on the back. Do you see that it's beautiful linen cardstock? This is really high quality, really nice. It feels like a great deck. It kind of reminds me, it's a little bit thinner than Pagan Otherworlds, but it's that sort of nice quality cardstock, the soft linen, you know, not the abrasive linen that you can get. Now, the art in this deck is taken from manuscripts, magical manuscripts. I think that's the best way to describe it. So it's demons and mythical creatures that the artist, which is you know, Magicae himself, Artis Magicae, rescued from ancient magical manuscripts, and then meticulously restored these images in a high quality deck, as you can see here. I think it's a standard tarot size. Let's just have a look. Yeah, exactly a standard tarot size. And when I say standard tarot size, I always work off the US Games kind of size. I know some decks like Llewellyn or Lo Scarabeo, and certainly Fournier is smaller, but this is the kind of size that I'm used to. So without further ado, and I'm going to edge it in red. I think it would be really nice to do like a blood red on this. I know they've got black borders here, and black would look nice, but I'm kind of drawn to red, so I'm going to go with that. What I'm going to do is we'll have a flip through so you can see each of the images up close. I do need to give a little bit of a warning. There is nudity in this deck, and there is also some quite bloodthirsty artistry as well. So you will see decapitated heads and body parts and sexually explicit kind of images. So if that isn't your thing, you may want to stop here. But if you're not offended by that or grossed out by that, then, you know, it's it might be a deck that intrigues you like it intrigues me. So without further ado, we'll zoom in and you can have a look at this. And then if you want to hear more about my thoughts about the deck, then you can either wait until after the flip through or use a little draggy mouse thing to move it to a little bit further on. Okay, so there we have it. Wow. I mean, I could sit and really take in these images. I struggled a bit with the flip through because I was conscious that I was doing a flip through and I didn't want it to take forever. It's already taken 7.5 minutes, but I found that I really wanted to pause and study the images. They are incredible. I do actually like the fact, and when I first looked at these yesterday, I was like, oh, they kind of go to like a pencil drawing, sketch kind of art from these colourful images. But I actually really like this. You know, and if the creator ever does further decks where he does one that's all sketch work, I'd probably buy it. Similarly, if he did one that was all coloured, I would. But I really like the balance of the two, actually. I mean, it's macabre. It does feel like you've got some. I mean, look at that for the High Priestess. I love that she's, you know, involved in conjure work there. It's a little bit sinister. This reminds me of the Buddhist demon, and it depends on what school of Buddhism. I was studying with the Triratna Buddhist group once, and they had, I think it was called Mara, and it kind of reminds me of that. But these are taken from old sort of, as I said, manuscripts, but they are incredible. They're powerful, and they really do kind of stir up a lot of thoughts and feelings on these cards. And I love that you go from this kind of devil-like creature here with the horns, and there's all these snakes and flames, and then you go to, you know, your lovers, which is like a nice piece of classic art. I mean, as I say, it's graphic. You know, you can't deny that. And there's lots of these kind of half man, half beast, minotaur type demons in here as well. I mean, look at that. There's an example. The Hangman. I mean, that's what I have found, particularly, I suppose, in the minors, because these are taken from magical manuscripts. I do feel that some have been chosen really well, and others would be a bit of a stretch. So when I looked at this and I saw, initially when I took it out of the box and I saw that strength was at 11 and justice was at 8, I wondered if it was going to be like a pip deck, but it isn't, which is wonderful. This reminds me of Samira Mai tarot. And again, this is like graffiti, you know, on a brick wall. Yeah, I wondered. Look at the moon. I love the moon card. Again, like the Lovers, it's this kind of classic Gothic art. Beautiful. Some of the characters remind me of Carnival at the End of the World. It kind of reminds me, although that's more of a modern art. But there's a lot of similarities. I love the Judgment card. I think it's incredible. It's like something out of a story book. I love that there's water coming here from his member to kind of what's the word I'm trying to find? Extinguish, not distinguish, extinguish the flames here. So it's incredible. And then you go to, as I say, the minors, which are these kind of sketch artwork. But again, they're so detailed. They've been restored incredibly well. I mean, look at the detail in there. And I actually really like it. But, you know, fitting in with the associations that you might be used to might be challenging. But if you enjoy classic art, demonology, all that sort of thing, then you'll love this deck. But if you're wanting a deck that sticks true to whatever tarot system you follow, then it might not. This was my card of the week, 'cause it's Queen of Wands week in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group at the moment, so I posted this today. That reminds me of Prince Charles. I don't know why, but it does. I love this chap here in the Two of Cups. So yeah, it's just incredible. I've never seen this deck. Why I've never seen it, I don't know. But it came as a wonderful surprise, a fantastic gift that I will treasure. Again, you know, half bird, half man. This reminds me of a character out of one of like the Wizard of Oz films. It might have been Return to Oz or something like that. Or something out of Labyrinth. This was really familiar. I feel like I've seen this demon before. The owl-headed human, half bird, half human, but with these angelic wings. But when I turned this card, I was like, wow, that's a familiar image. So who knows, I might have seen it in a book or something somewhere. Three-headed dog person. But then with like these kind of chicken feet. Really, really bizarre but wonderful. This reminds me of Punch. This, look at this. Our King of Swords towering over this figure. Absolutely incredible deck. And I know it's going to be a deck that divides opinions. Not everybody's going to love this. And I get that. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But I've got such an eclectic taste when it comes to tarot. I love things that are a little bit different. And this certainly ticks all the boxes for me. So, after I've had my dinner, I'm going to sit down, get out my Winsor & Newton, and I'm going to edge this deck. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing it. In fact, let's pause and I'll come back when it's edged. Okay, and I'm back. So it is edged. I used firstly the Winsor & Newton Pro Marker, and this is the Ruby. I'm not sure if that's coming out, it looks like a bit blurry. But it's the Ruby. If you want the number, it's R455. And this was also a birthday gift because I got a set of pro markers from Jackie Jacaranda. So thank you, Jackie. I love the way they've turned out. They've matched perfectly with the backs using the Ruby. It's a nice dark red. I love either Sharpies or the Winsor & Newton Pro Markers. I think they're becoming my favourite. But yeah, really nice, really happy with them. Love the way it's finished it off. It looks perfect with the deck. Just gorgeous. So I need to get a nice little bag or something now for them. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll be back later in the week with more unboxings, and until then, go in peace, namaste, and blessed be.